The movie business has changed potentially a lot. I mean, there was a moment in early 2020 where I thought we were just done. I thought we wouldn't even finish the movie. I thought that maybe the theatrical experience was over.
Pourquoi il a fallu 13 ans pour avoir une suite d'Avatar?
Look, I think the idea to make a sequel occurred to the studio executives about the time we passed $1 billion. But that's not a reason to make a movie, right? I mean, Spielberg had the highest grossing film in history with E.T. He never made a sequel, right? So it's not automatic. It took me a couple of years to decide that I actually wanted to do it. Then it took me another, I'd say, year and a half to figure out a storyline. Somewhere in there, I decided that there was so much possibility for story that it wasn't one movie. And so then I imagined, all right, let's make a trilogy. Let's do a kind of Lord of the Rings story that sets up the problem, has a middle act movie that tries to resolve the problem but actually creates even more conflict, and then let's do a movie that resolves the problem. Didn't work out that way. Because there was just too much damn story. Once we got into it, working with the other writers and working with the designers, we got very excited about a lot of ideas. And to reconcile all those ideas, we decided to make 4 movies. The studio was not happy about this because it was taking too long to get to the first sequel. I had a bigger idea in mind. So we started production in 2017 on this film and on movie 3. And so then we did 2 films together. So our production schedule, one day we're working on 2, next day on 3, next day on 4, next day on 2. You know what I mean? So the actors were like, ah! But the actors knew the whole story. I shared the scripts with them, I talked them through it, I showed them all the designs. So they always understood where they were in the bigger story. Well, here's the thing. You saw the film yesterday. So you know that it looks better than the first film. It's more immersive. The performances are clearer. You really feel a connection to the characters. I could talk you through all the technical development. If we had about 30 hours, I could give you a general overview. But I don't think the audience cares about I think it's interesting to write about, but I don't think the audience cares. When they sit down in a chair in a movie theater, they just want to be taken away. So I'm just going to say it's magic. This movie is very personal on a lot of levels. One, because it's about family, and as an artist, as a writer, I'm working out things, I'm thinking about things that I experienced, both as a young kid, as a teenager, with my parents, and then as a parent working through it. Because the teenage years are the worst. The anxiety, depression, the feeling of I don't know who I am, I don't know what my future is, my parents don't understand me. And I've been through it from both sides, right? So now I feel I can write about it. So I'm Jake, and I'm Loak, and I'm also Neytiri, and I'm also Kiri, because I've been in a family. I've seen my daughters, I've seen my wife interact with our sons and daughters, and I've got that there. And I've spent a lot of time underwater, God knows, at all depths, so I can write that. If you're writing a fantasy that's on another planet, that's highly metaphorical, try to ground it in as much reality as you can. And so writing from experience, right? So it is very personal. It's very personal about the environmental themes. Defending the ocean is important to me. Defending the whales is important to me. But all the life in the ocean, the coral reefs, that's important to me. Family, very important to me. So I just put it all in a big pot, stirred it, right? And this is what came out. And there's even a shipwreck in there. As I always told the crew, I've only ever had 3 or 4 good ideas. I just put them all in the same movie.
Just breathe. Breathe.
The movie wasn't written to be about a particular time in society. It was meant to, it's a very broad kind of metaphor for where we are just overall as a civilization. So I don't think the theme of the film is any less relevant today as it was then. The movie business has changed potentially a lot. I mean, there was a moment in early 2020 where I thought we were just done. I thought we wouldn't even finish the movie. I thought that maybe the theatrical experience was over. I mean, seriously. And I even told, I got on Zooms with all my director friends and filmmaker friends, and I said, we're done, it's over, we're not doing this anymore. But we'll still be storytellers, we'll just be working in television. And I actually thought that's what was gonna happen. Now, what really happened was that audiences still want to go to the movie theater, and we see that, right? It's just a slightly contracted market now. First of all, it imploded. Then it expanded back, but it still hasn't come all the way back. So we're at anywhere between 75 and 85%, depending on what's happening, whether we're in a surge or not in a surge or whatever it is. So the big question for us is, can we still be profitable with a film of this size in the current market? And I don't know the answer to that right now. I'll tell you in 6 weeks.
Konbini.